Hey, what's going on, Hope students? What is going on? Welcome, everybody here at Frisco East, everybody joining us online, Frisco West, McKinney, Prosper, if you're tuning in. Man, we are so glad that you are here tonight for senior night. Hey, we are celebrating seniors, but seniors, you're not done just yet. You're not done at Hope students just yet. We want to make sure and celebrate y'all before your schedule and all that kind of stuff gets busy. But man, we got a fun few weeks ahead. If y'all don't know this, next week is pajamas and PJs, which means you wear your PJs to church. We got pizza for everybody. So we can't wait to see you next week. After that, we got a jersey week, wear your sports jerseys, all that kind of stuff. And then all 4 campuses will be here for summer kickoff, which is awesome. And if you haven't signed up for camp, do it. Almost close to 400 students have already signed up for camp. So sign up, do it. Okay, anyways. Hey, if you don't know me, my name is Will, and I am so excited to kick off this series called Guess Who. Someone say Guess Who? Guess Who. This whole series is wrapped around identity. We are talking about identity, and we are starting from a big point tonight. We are starting from something huge that if you can get this one thing, so many other things will fall into place. So many other things are going to fall into place, okay? Now, everybody got a piece of paper on your way in, right? Everybody got that piece of paper and you got a pen. If you didn't get a piece of paper and a pen, raise your hand online. Or maybe, if you're like, I don't know, I'll get my phone out, have my journal, that kind of thing. I want to do something real quick. Everybody is known for something. We know that. Here's a few things that I'm known for, at least I think that I'm known for, like being punny. I have this list here. I make great puns. Am I right? A couple people, someone said terrible. I love you also. Thank you. I make puns. I got tattoos. People tend to notice that. Energetic, or sometimes people say, you're a lot. Okay, I get that. Caring, hopefully I know that. Christmas? Let's go! Christmas time. I love sports. And hey, at the end of the day, if I'm not known for anything else, I would love to be known as a prayerful person. So I'm giving you this as an example because I want to make a practice, okay? What we're going to do is we're going to answer this question, or you're going to fill in the blank, I am blank. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to do two things, okay? 2 lists. One list, you're going to write down everything that you're known for, and another list, everything that you want to be known for, okay? So we're going to do this 30 seconds each. Go ahead. I believe we'll have a timer going. Here we go. And bam. Oh, man, I'm good. Bam. Oh, so close. Yeah. It's all right. It's all right. About 30 seconds. Keep going. I'm watching the clock kind of back here. So first, start out things that you are known for. Known for. Write down things that you are known for. You got about 15 more seconds. Some of you are writing down negative things. You need to be nicer to yourself, okay? Write down good things or just anything. Yeah, just write that down. All right, now switching a little bit, and now write down things that you want to be known for. Write down things that you want to be known for. I am blank. You're talking to future you, talking to future self. Something you're working on, something you're working towards, something you're hoping to be. In the meantime, while they do that, parents, everybody, parents, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, grandma, grandpa, thank you for joining us at Hope Students tonight. We love that you're here, and all of our volunteers love that they're not the only old people in the room. So we're so glad you're here tonight, but seriously, thank you for being here. And then you got a few more seconds, and done. Okay, now, hold on to that. We're gonna come back to that a little bit later. Now, like I said, we're all known for something. Everybody, everywhere is known for something. You look at someone, and then a lot of times we attribute things. Like if they're wearing anime shirt, we're going to think, oh, they like watching anime. If they're wearing a sports jersey or a Cowboys jersey, we're going to assume that person is a Cowboys fan, as everyone in the world should be, okay? Go Cowboys. How dare you? We're in Frisco. This is a national, okay, it doesn't matter. Everybody is knowing, this is the point. You look, okay, and then you can attribute things. Like, people are known for something. People are known for the way that they act. How many of y'all know the morning people at your school? You know them because they're the loudest. Maybe on your bus, okay? Yeah, there's some people. How many of y'all know the non-morning people who just want to sleep in class all the time? Yeah, okay, a lot of people. People are known for something, but a bigger question behind that, a bigger tension, a better thing to answer is not just, and again, we're going to come back to everything you wrote, but it's not just what or we are known, not what we're known for. There's a better question. There's a better feeling. It's who am I? Because if you answer this question, and the more you answer this question, and the better, this is great, the better articulated, that's a good word, right? Articulated. The better you can articulate who you are, the answer to this question, the better your life will be, the better your college experience will be, the better the rest of your high school experience will be, the better your middle school experience will be. Your life will just be better, and it'll be filled with so much more purpose, because an incredible thing happens to our purpose when we become more and more self-aware. Now, Paul, we talk about Paul all the time. He wrote a huge chunk of the New Testament of God's Word. God worked through him writing that. And so what we find with Paul is Paul had this crazy identity switch. And in fact, one time, he was giving a sermon. Y'all have heard of like giving testimonies. You've heard people's stories and that kind of thing. Paul was giving a sermon, kind of giving a case for who he is and why he believes, what he believes. And in this case, he starts by saying what he is known for. He starts in Acts 2, verse 3, Acts 21, 22. 21 to 22. Okay, shoot. I'm going to look because I should know that. I know. 22. Knew it. Okay, nailed it. All right, starting verse 3. Then Paul said, I am a Jew born in Tarshish, a city in Cilicia, and I was brought up and educated here in Jerusalem under Gamaliel, that guy. As his student, I was carefully trained in our Jewish laws and customs. I became very zealous, very passionate, very zealous to honor God in everything I did, just like all of you today. And I persecuted the followers of the Way. The Way is what people were called Christians at the very beginning. They were called the Way. Hounding some of them to death, actually stoning some of them to death, arresting both men and women and throwing them into prison. The high priest and the whole council of elders can testify that this is so. For I received letters from them to our Jewish brothers in Damascus, authorizing me to bring the followers of the Way from there to Jerusalem in chains to be punished. He continues. He's making this case. This is what I am known for. This is what I was known for. As I was on the way approaching, as I was on the road approaching Damascus about noon, a very bright light from heaven suddenly shone around me. I fell to the ground and heard a voice saying to me, Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me? Who are you, Lord? I asked. And the voice replied, I am Jesus, the Nazarene, the one you are persecuting. The people with me saw the light, but didn't understand the voice that was speaking to me. I asked, what should I do, Lord? Which you probably would too. Now, even notice this, little L up here, small L. Okay, that's a big deal because up here he's saying there's something miraculous happening. And now down here in his recollection of this testimony, he's saying, I made this switch from saying little L to big L. This is bigger than just a spiritual experience. This is purposeful, big L. And the Lord told me, get up and go to Damascus. And there you will be told everything you are to do. And the Lord told me, get up and go to Damascus, and there you will be told everything to do. All right, here, 11. I was blinded by the intense light and had to be led by the hand to Damascus by my companions. A man named Ananias lived there. He was a godly man, deeply devoted to the law, and well regarded by all the Jews in Damascus. He came and stood beside me and said, Brother Saul, regain your sight. And at that very moment, I could see him. Now pause. There has been a slight shift that has been happening as Paul has been very quickly talking about his life. He started at the very beginning. He says, this is what I was known for. ... This is how people knew who I was. Because of who I studied under, because of what I did, because of the things that I started to accomplish. But then I had an encounter with what I thought was a little L Lord. But then, as soon as that little L Lord talked to me, I knew this is a capitalization of God. And it is from this interaction that I was blind. Now I see he has this incredible, crazy experience with God. And then he shifts even more to his audience that he's talking to in verse 14. He says this. Then he told me, the God of our ancestors has chosen you. He says, then Then he recognized in me, the God of our ancestors has chosen you. He didn't acknowledge all the good things, all the things that you wanted to do. He didn't look at you and say, man, you are starting to do good things, but I need you to do better things. So instead, let's shift and do different things. No, God will get to that. But what he starts out by saying is God has chosen you. It's an identity. It's an identity that he points to. It's an identity that he pulls out of Paul. He says, the God of our ancestors has chosen you to know his will, and to see the righteous one and hear him speak. For you are to be his witness, telling everyone what you have seen and heard. What are you waiting for? I love that. He's like talking in the same breath. He's like, you're going to do it. Like God's recognized you. You're going to be a witness, telling everyone, what are you waiting for? You're like, you just said it. What are you waiting for? Get up and be baptized. Have your sins washed away by calling on the name of the Lord. Paul was known for a lot of things. Paul was known for he was known as an incredibly promising young man. In fact, to be accepted into what he was accepted into, being able to be taught by a rabbi. I mean, that's like beyond Harvard of Jerusalem, okay? This is like a big deal. You had to be incredibly talented. And Paul made this shift years into being a Christ follower to say, I'm not just going to talk about what I am known for. I'm going to acknowledge who I chose. Because to answer that question of who am I, we have to realize it's not about who we are. It's about whose we are. You're not out there trying to find a lost version of yourself or to build an identity in yourself. No. God's already placed that identity there. He's already given you the value, and it's up to us. We are more like archaeologists trying to uncover the incredible value that God's already placed in us, because you are already created in the image of God. You are already created in the image of God. You have a God-like identity, not saying you're above any, like a deity or anything like that. Instead, by saying, whose are you? Whose are you? That is a much better way of answering or discovering that question. It's not about who I am, but whose I am. Whose I am. For me, in my life, and I don't mean this in a morbid way, and y'all have heard me say this before. Maybe I got to stop saying that. Maybe I say it too much. But if I left from here and I got hit by a car, like, no, like I'm gone. Shoot, like that would be sad. It would be sad. It would be better for me, though, in my soul, because then what I know is that now on this earth, instead of being here where we can get a taste of heaven, and God is with us, but we really, right now, we only get a taste of his presence now. I would get to be on the other side of eternity in incredible perfection, not for me, not valuing me, but because I get to be unimpeded. I get to be in a place where I'm unimpededly worshiping my God, because I care more about whose I am than who I am. So much of the time, the question of who I am leads us to like, what do I have to do? When realizing whose I am gives us the freedom and the better starting point to saying, God, you made me. You created me. You gave me identity. You placed me here. I am yours and you are mine. Now take a second and look at that list. Look at that list that you kind of wrote down. Look through those. Look at the things that you were known for. And look at the things that you want to be known for. Go ahead, look at the two for a few seconds. See the words. You probably remember what you wrote on there. A lot of that, and this is natural, I'm not trying to put you down, but a lot of that is probably things to accomplish and not necessarily a person to just be. I would love to be known as a prayerful person, not so that other people can view me in a lens that I think would be approving. I want to be known as a prayerful person because at the core of who I am, I want to care so much about my God's presence that I want to be starving for it constantly. I want to be desperate. I want God's presence to be like air. I want it to be like sunlight in the morning to me. I want it to be like a glass of lemonade on a hot summer day. Like I want to, if there's anything that I want people to know about me, it's about my love for the God who created me. Because I care more about whose I am than what other people perceive me as who I am. I care so much more about my life being in my God's presence than someone else having a good perspective of me. And what I know is that if we can make that connection, if we can emphasize whose I am, then the doing part will eventually solve itself. Because what I've discovered in my years of following Christ is that the more I understand whose I am, the more that changes my behavior. God cares way, way, way more about whose you are than what you do. God cares so much more about whose you are than what you do. Now, I'm not giving you a free ticket to do whatever, get crazy. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you back up from that question and you say, I wonder who I am, discover whose you are, as so many of the other things will sort themselves out. I'm going to pray for you. Would you bow your head? Jesus, we love you more than anything. God, I pray for a lot of us that tonight this is just a reminder of whose we are. I pray that as we move into a time of small groups and senior celebrations, that, God, I pray that all of us go home with that question, chewing and digesting that question of who I am and really being honest with ourselves. Do I know whose I am, or am I trying to create an image? Am I trying to get other people to see? Or do I really know that my identity has been submitted and placed in your incredibly perfect hands, Jesus? It is in your name that we pray. Amen.